Hi everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hump day, middle of the week, beautiful day here in South Alabama. I didn't get any of that sun yesterday that I thought I would, but hopefully today, keeping my fingers crossed because the skies are blue and it's supposed to be nice and warm today. Let's talk about raw vegan versus cooked vegan. I want you to ask yourself this. I do videos every day, so if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please hit that big subscribe button now. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so YouTube won't unsubscribe you from the channel. The never-ending question of raw vegan versus cooked, raw vegan versus cooked. I've done a number of videos on this and come at it from a lot of different angles, but when it all boils down to is, for me, it's all about how it feels. I've been doing this lifestyle. June will be 6 years for me, and ever since, I would say, the first year was kind of just getting your footing, figuring things out, learning, kind of clueless, not knowing what's going on. So that was just kind of an information gathering year. I couldn't really, I didn't really know what was going on there. There were a lot of things during that first year I can look back on and go, sheesh, I shudder at thinking of that, like especially in the very beginning where I wasn't eating near enough food and I was just getting emaciated and had no energy. I had head rushes. I was dizzy every single time I stood up. And then I counterbalanced that with eating too heavy, and I was eating a lot of oil then because I was just like, well, it's vegan. And it was all about just getting calories to add back up. So I went through a lot of things, but after about the first year, and not saying starting year two, I did things perfectly, I started going largely by how I felt. And I just kind of like guided my way down the road by continuously, like, there were bumps, it's not a straight path, but you eat certain things or you eat a certain way for a while and you feel a little bit better and you feel a little bit better. You eat something else and it pulls you back just a little bit. And these subtleties, it's now after, almost 6 years, it's about feeling the subtleties because you don't feel these big massive changes anymore. In other words, like I don't ever go out of my boundaries to where, even though I eat cooked food, I've been eating some cooked food while I've been in the States. Even every once in a while, I've eaten some very heavy cooked food, like stuff that I've never eaten before, vegan. But it still hasn't been, I still haven't done anything that's just made me, oh my God, I feel horrible. That story that everybody has about I ate this and it just did this. So now it's mostly about the subtleties, about, feeling my way along. And I think like a lot of people are just fooling themselves, lying to themselves the way they're eating. If you're genuinely, listen, tune into your body, tune into how you feel with no preconceptions. Don't be a raw foodist. Don't be a raw vegan. Approach it as a scientist. Approach it just like, by results. It's all about, observing and seeing what happens within your body and acknowledging that. Because I eat both, like I say, I've experimented with both. I kind of consider myself a unique person in this plant-based world that shares this kind of stuff because I kind of find myself in a gray area almost by myself because there's just nobody that does exactly what I'm doing. There's people that are fully raw, 100% raw, never eat cooked food, or if so, it's very, very, very rare. Then there's the people that are raw foodists. They eat some cooked food, they introduce cooked food back in, and then they go all the other way, and then that's all they're eating is cooked food. And then you have the people that are anti the raw food diet, and they have their own propaganda and stuff that they tell you about how it's bad for you, this and that. Whereas everybody, I see all this swirling around from the people that are the raw foodists to the people that are anti-raw food. And I'm just asking myself, are any of you people really tuning in and seeing how you feel? How does the food make you feel? Are you just slugging it down and going about your business? Hey, that's fair enough. People live busy lives. But I think if you really pay attention to your body and really listen with an open mind and no preconceived notions about what it's supposed to be, your body will lead you. Your body will lead you there. I feel it every day, and I can feel the subtleties just like that. I've dabbled with, like I say, I like to play with this whole thing. I can tell you, like I always say, let me make this very, very clear. I feel my best, my absolute best, the top of how I feel when I'm eating fully raw, when I'm eating 100% raw. Well, when I say I'm eating 100% raw, I'm not fanatic. Like I don't know if like this one ingredient, that I'm putting in a recipe is 100% raw, but you kind of get the gist of it. I feel my absolute best when I'm eating like that. I eat the cooked foods that I eat, and I've experimented. I've talked about this in other videos. The optimal way I found to eat cooked food is to mix it with raw. And I don't always do that. And every time I don't do that, I'm like, why don't you just do that? When you're going to eat this cooked food, get back to doing it the way that it's worked the absolute best for you. The absolute best for me is to include a big salad with it, like, say sweet potatoes on top of a big salad or with a big salad. The sweet potatoes digest and don't really change me a whole lot anyway, but that salad, having all those greens, having that raw with it, probably what that does is it moderates my portions on the cooked a little bit more. Whereas if I just eat the cooked, I'll tend to eat more sweet potatoes than I need to, and it's not the same feeling. I'm like I say, I'm trying to tell you, like the closest when you're eating cooked, how to replicate that super clean raw feeling. But once again, if you're rocking the fully raw lifestyle, it's working for you, it's easy for you, and you're thriving on it, I got no beef with you. I'm not trying to talk you out of doing that. I'm just saying, let's go by the feel, and let's not be so dramatic, when when somebody I generally consider a rational human being tells you some story of how they ate something very innocuous cooked. I mean, not even something heavy cooked. And they make all this big hysteria. I ate a bite and it just flipped me out. I can't even take them seriously anymore because I don't believe that. I'm sorry. And yes, there's exceptions. I always have to say that for that person that will be the exception. There might be exceptions, but in general, no, I don't believe you on that. I'm sorry if you will just, like, I don't know, I feel like I'm just going in circles on this video and saying the same thing over and over. You will feel what's right. I mean, how can you not? I feel like all these subtleties, and it's not always about, raw versus cooked. Here's a good example. Here's a good example of really listening to those subtleties in your body and also realizing over time how they change. Saturday night, I think it was, or Saturday or Sunday night, I was laying on the couch, being lazy, watching Netflix. I had had my ice cream for dinner. I think I ate a little bit earlier than normal that day. Well, I'm like, I said, you know what? I haven't snacked any watching Netflix. I don't do that very often. I don't have a taste for it very often. Very rarely do I eat after 5:30 in the afternoon. So I said, it's all good. I'm not going to kill me. I'm not a fanatic. I think I'm going to eat. I've had some cashews here for a while. I thought I'd use them in a recipe. I said, I think I'm going to eat these cashews. Now, by the way, as most people say, probably cashews aren't 100% raw, but I'm just kind of making a point here. Something that I used to would have just eaten that same amount and been like, not even thought about it. I just think like, okay, that's a little splurge. I don't eat nuts very often at all. If for somebody watching me the first time, I rarely eat nuts. Every once in a while, I'll get this taste or something. So I had them, and I could just immediately feel. I didn't feel terrible. Once again, it wasn't like my stomach. My stomach, I could feel just a little bit. There was something in there. I wasn't feeling bad. Wasn't feeling pain. Wasn't feeling like I needed to go to the bathroom. It just like there was rumbling and stuff going on, like it just didn't work. And it was too heavy for me. Now, 2 years ago, that was something I would have to actually hold myself back a little bit because every once in a while I enjoyed doing that at night. And I enjoyed it more back then. I could eat those back then. So the body will change. Even something you're doing now may not necessarily be the same thing you're feeling a year from now. But yeah, play with it. If you're going to do this lifestyle, this lifestyle, it will work a lot better for you. I know a lot of people are busy. I know a lot of people, you're probably just doing the best you can just to get your food together. But if, you know, even on weekends, a little bit of time when you have a break or whatever, if you will really pay attention and tune into your body's going to let you know what you need to eat. We don't need to watch this YouTuber or that YouTuber, because to be quite honest with you, if you go back and watch, and this has been my experience over 6 years, a lot of your big YouTubers, a lot of your big names out there change their diet as often as some people change shorts. And I understand it. It's to shake the channel up, you know, when the channel gets a little stale. You can get a lot of bang by saying, do the why I'm no longer a raw vegan video, or the return to raw vegan after you've said I'm no longer a raw vegan. Then you get double bang out of it. So sometimes I feel like some of our biggies out there are just crafting their message for a channel, you know, for whatever. This is always going to be about me. I'm selfish. All I'm doing is, like, you know, just showing you. It's kind of like, you know, watching a guy inside of behind a glass cage, inside a cage, just what he does. But, you know, use a little bit of common sense on this. And in the whole raw versus cooked thing, I don't really see it as that big of a debate, whatever. I do what works for me. I'm very utilitarian. I'm always going to make, if there's a good raw choice, I'm always going to make a raw choice. Yes, I'm a little lazy if I'm on the road, or sometimes if I've missed calories for a couple of days, or I just have a taste for sweet potatoes, I'm going to eat some cooked. But, you know, no big deal on that. But I don't go nuts with it, you know, when I do that. And that's another thing. And I don't know, that part of it, I don't know. The whole addiction, we're addicted. And once you do it, the people that talk about if they eat one bite of cooked food, they go on some sort of slippery slope. Well, I don't know. Maybe good luck with that. I have a little bit of control over what I do, and I'll eat a cooked vegan meal, and sometimes it'll even be quite heavy, like the barbecue pulled jackfruit sandwiches I eat. But then boom, I go to Saturday and eat that at that restaurant with some hummus. Next day, I come home that evening, nice cream. Next day, all fruit. Next day, all fruit and greens, fruit and greens, fruit and greens. You jump right back on. And it's like a hiccup. I don't even feel it. You know, a day later. But anyhow, let's just eat clean. Let's just eat a whole food, plant-based diet, low in fat. Keep the oil. I don't use oil. Let's keep the salt to a bare minimum. And it's all good. We feel good. I feel good every single day of my life. And that's all the proof I need. I don't need anybody to agree with me. I don't even really need anything in books or online to back me up, because it would be odd if I read something that went totally counter. In other words, like, it would be telling me, you don't really feel as good as you do. But anyhow, just my 2 cents worth, rambling. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Hey, thanks again for the response on the tie-dyed shirt yesterday, the Vegan for Life. Got a few emails out of that. I've already sold about 4 of them. And, you know, send me an email if you want one. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.